Monday, Monday, Monday. What's good, everybody? How y'all feeling out there on this incredible Monday evening after the huge Buckeye victory in the Big Blouse? The Wolver Queens are still queening, still crying. The tears are still delicious. It's been amazing. And so we're going to keep it going. Look, do me a favor. Y'all know the drill. Hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Y'all here anyway, subscribe. Help us to get us to our next goal of 40K. We obliterated the last goal. We're zooming towards that goal right now. So we appreciate y'all. We're going to talk about some massive Michigan scandals. It's like it just won't stop. It's just always something with them. And so it's a part of their culture now. It's just who they are. So we're going to talk about it. Also, remember, when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the pay it forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us, and that's the truth. Nevada Buck, man, what's up on this Monday, man? What's going on, brother?
Well, I'm over at Apple Podcasts now, subscribing to Apple Podcasts because, like,
Yes.
you know something. If you like podcasts, you like the audio format, you're like listening in your car. Go over, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. That helps us out as well. But B, I'm just telling you, I am not going to stop smiling for the next 365 days. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I am so happy. It just puts me in a good mood about everything. I feel like the world has been right. Like this, I feel like there's been this terrible injustice that's been thrust
Yeah.
upon us for the past 4 years, and I feel like we've righted the wrong. The everything is right with the world now. Everything's kind of come back into a cosmic order, and yeah, I'm not like I said. I am so happy. I'm telling you, I'm going to call this right now. Everything that happens from here on out with Ohio State is gravy, in my opinion. Big Ten title, national championships. Do I want to win them? Of course. Do I want us to sweep the awards and Heisman's and Bolitnikovs and Bednareks, and I want us to sweep every award and win the national championship and get the trophy. But regardless, I'm going to be happy. So it's a great feeling. It's a great. I feel like I'm playing with house money from here on out, and just yeah, it's great. It's a happy Monday. No matter what the weather is, no matter where you are, it's sunny and 85 degrees here on Buckeye Scoop on the podcast, and it's a beautiful day.
Speaking of weather. do, 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 do. So we about to get hit here in Columbus with some snow
Oh wow.
overnight. Yep, we're
Oh
about to
wow.
get hit with some snow, and I am going to borrow my homeboy's Brutus costume so I can go out in the backyard and do the script Ohio and jump and make the eye and do all that stuff. Man, listen, Brutus is blowing up. He went viral. I mean, again, man, what a great game. What a great atmosphere. Brutus is the real MVP. I love it. But yes, despite the snow here in Columbus is coming, 95 degrees, cool, crisp. I love it, man. So we're gonna get into some team up north stuff. And listen, I reached out to the homie Justin Spiro to see if he wanted to hop on. We'll see if he responds. If not, that's cool. Actually, hold on. Okay. Okay. So he's working, he's doing some digging and working on this story. That's what he does, man. He gets sources, he gets information, he digs some more to get some more. I mean, he just gathers as much as possible. But he said he may hop on, he may just, comment in the chat. So either way, we'll see what's up. But Nevada, let's crack this off, man. Let's talk about this title, multiple massive Michigan scandals. What does that mean? What are we talking about?
Well, first of all, obviously, if you were a listener last night, we had broken before the game. We had broken the communications breach for Ohio State during the game. We had told you it was going to happen. It happened. There's obviously new video coming out of Quinn Temple, who's Ryan Day's chief of staff. And you understand, this is the guy that, like, I don't know what Quinn makes, 6, 7, $800,000 a year, but like he's somebody who matters. This isn't an intern, and he's flipping out on the sidelines, going after the Michigan guys when the communication stuff went down. And we are in the midst of finding out whether the Big Ten is going into a formal investigation mode. Ohio State has asked for that. I believe that it's going to be granted. I believe there will be a formal Big Ten investigation as to how this all transpired, but Ohio State's not letting that go. And in most times when we talk about stuff, that would be the biggest story of the day. But do we have video? Do we have video of the Quinn Temple kerfluffle on the sideline there at the Michigan game there, B?
Yep. Shout out to Intrinsic. We got a couple of angles here. Let me pull this up. Turn the audio on. Let's start from the beginning. All right. Did y'all see him take off running? I'm going to show you another angle. Hold on. We have another angle, but did you see him take off running? They're arguing. There's a flip side where you can see the argument. This is what was going on during the game, y'all. You have Michigan people over by our comms, and our guys are arguing with theirs. This was not some weather act of God. Oh, it was just nothing. Like something was happening. We told y'all that. Now we're seeing footage of like what was actually going on behind the scenes, trying to correct the issue, arguing. Listen, there should not be an argument with the opposing team's officials or people in their stadium. It should be cordial working together. Like, oh, you got this. Why wasn't there, Nevada? I'm gonna pull up the other angle, but like let's talk about that.
Well, they were. I mean, the Ohio State people were mad that there were Michigan people messing with their comms. That they didn't have any right to be near that stuff. This was all when the stuff started going down. The Michigan people were in proximity to our communications, whatever you want to go, cube, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden the comms went down. Coincidence? Ohio State didn't think so. And so you can see in the second clip, and it gets even a little bit more heated. But again, these are people that matter at Ohio State. And yeah, I'll step back so we can see this, but this is a better angle on what's going on.
Here, I'll turn the audio on. Hold on. Start from the beginning. Here we go.
Third down, 18.
Players is fucking good.
All right. So that was the other angle. You clearly see what's going on. Like this should not be happening. And so when you try to say, "Oh well, you guys are just reaching," and really, like after everything the team up north has done with their program administration, thumbing their nose, destroying evidence, cheating with no remorse, you expect us to just act like, oh, they're above board and benefit of the doubt? No. And then you see footage like this on top of that. Like, come on, guys, come on now. Let's just keep it a whole buck. Nevada, speaking of buck, Nevada buck. What say you about that?
Yeah, no, this was clearly a big deal to Ohio State at the game, during the game, and what I'm telling you now, it's a big deal to Ohio State after the game. No matter what, they're not saying anything publicly. They've gone to the Big Ten. They've asked for an investigation. The Big Ten has 48 hours to respond. They should get a response by Wednesday or Thursday. I'm fully expecting there to be a full investigation on this. This was bad. I mean, this was bad. This was another ham-handed attempt by Michigan to try to influence the outcome of games because they did it. They did it for 3 years. For 3 years, they were able to cheat on field and influence the outcome of games, influence the outcome of people's careers. They probably cost C.J. Stroud 2 Heisman's, but they did it. They feel like it was worth it to them, and they tried to do it again on the game on Saturday. And luckily for Ohio State, you have a guy like Brian Day on the sideline who can communicate with his coach, with his quarterback, handle things even if they're not in direct communication with Brian Hartline upstairs, and make it happen. But no, this is a big deal. That's going to be a bigger. But I'm telling you now, B, It's not even the biggest Michigan scandal of the day. That's what we
Yeah.
said. In the title, we talked about multiple Michigan scandals. So that's scandal number one, and we'll put that one aside for a second. Scandal number two, and I'm just telling you this right now. Michigan is trying to fire Sharon Moore. Okay. Michigan is now going full ham on trying to leak information detrimental to Sharon Moore. They want it out there. They're trying to get this guy run because they want to move on from him, but they need a reason. They need cause. In all these contracts and all this stuff, what they're looking for is give me cause to fire you, because if I fire you without cause, I have to pay you out the whole way.
Right.
So with Sharon Moore, they're looking for cause. What would the cause be? Well, the allegation, and I'm going to put it there, allegation is extramarital affair with a Michigan employee. So that's what they're putting out there, and they're putting it out there in pretty wide circulation right now. A lot of people have this. This is coming out, and they've put this out there. The leaks are coming from Michigan. The leaks are coming from inside the house. This apparently has not been a very well kept secret around Michigan for a while, but now that they want to make a move on Moore, they're starting to put up the heat on him in terms of going. So this is coming out. It's like I said, I'd feel bad breaking something like this if I was like the only one who had it, but a lot of people have this now. A lot of people have this right now. This is out. I expect this information to be in wide circulation here over the next few days. But they want Sharon Moore out. They want to move on from Sharon Moore. This is the way they do it. And this is a very typical Michigan way of doing it: is leak information that is detrimental to his reputation, detrimental to his standing within the university, make it impossible for him to continue on in his position. And they waited until after the Ohio State game to do this, because losing that game for them was I think they realize now that they've latched their star onto a guy that can't get him there. And I think they realize the powers that be do not want him to be the head coach anymore. But I think he's given them the reason to fire him, and I expect the story to be in wide circulation here very, very shortly.
Yep, they are going crazy. Let me read this. This is from the homie Justin Spiro. I see you in the chat. What's up, brother? Righteous brother. He posted. First of all, he told us about this months ago. We knew he told us about this months ago, but was still working on stuff. Here's his comment. He tweeted. He said, "As my longtime subscribers know, I like to keep you guys in the loop on things I'm working on. In that spirit, I am currently investigating allegations of misconduct within a major college football program in the state. The allegations do not pertain to NCAA rules violations, nor are they football related, but they will likely have major implications for the program. I have confirmed the veracity of a portion of these allegations, and I'm working on confirming more. Though the situations have key differences and distinctions, I would refer you to another local school's 2023 scandal for a basic approximation of this scandal's framework. Thank you for your support." So that was months ago, back when he was trying to let his followers know without going all in. Now, as Nevada said, it's out there, and it's coming from inside the house. There's a media member named, I believe his name is Michael Spaeth. Spaeth, I think is how you pronounce it. My buddy, Intrinsic, was basically saying that he's equivalent to, like a Buckeye beat writer. And I don't want to necessarily say names because people will take it wrong, but just imagine one of the Buckeye beat writers, who go ask questions to Ryan Day in the press conference.
Big, big fat guy, looks like he's going to like a Star Wars convention type of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, he's equivalent to that.
Okay.
Reporting, basically putting stuff out there that's very damning to Sharon Moore. And it's not just him. It's almost like they're huddling up and intentionally doing it. So Nevada's right. It's crazy behind the scenes what's going on. They clearly want him out of there. And for those who are acting like, oh, well, we were missing players and we didn't care that much. And no, they cared. 95%. I'll use old boy's number from the other day who was on our show. 95% of Michigan fans thought they was going to win this game and thought they should have won this game. So now it's like the proverbial, the honeymoon of the fluky win from last year is clearly worn off. And now all HE double hockey sticks is breaking loose in Nevada.
Well, yeah, and look, they're even going as far as to name the staffer. Now we're not going to do that because I look. I think that there's a line in terms of you and I are not traditional journalists, but I don't I'm not going to throw out somebody's name when I don't know if it's there. But they're doing it. They're attaching a name and a profile and pictures and the whole 9 yards to Sharon Moore in terms of this stuff. And so they're going full metal jacket on this thing with him in terms of trying to link him to this. And it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy because you've got a fan base that is so delusional. I just for fun, I'd gone on and people are like, "Hey, you should read what the Michigan fans think about the game." And I went and read the stuff, and I wrote a summary on the board for the people, and it was basically the summary was that if Justice Haynes was healthy, they would have won. If Jordan Marshall was healthy, they would have won. If Bredesen, the fullback, was healthy, they would have won. Any of those three. So apparently there were multiple guys running open for touchdowns that if Underwood would have thrown it to them, that they would have won. If the refs wouldn't have messed with them on the Jeremiah fumble thing in the end zone, they would have won. And it's like I'm like, how delusional are you guys? No, you're exactly right. They fully expected that they were just going to waltz in there and win. And now that they've lost, you're seeing all this stuff. This is the blowback. I believe in the law of physics. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This is the equal and opposite reaction. They are going after Sharon Moore right now, and they are trying to smear this guy so badly. I think they want him to resign. I truly believe that's and I actually believe that is what's going to happen, because I think when Michigan gets in their mind that they're going to go after somebody who, when the knives are coming out from inside the house, then you've got a real problem. And I think Sharon Moore's got a real problem because I don't think this story's going to go away. I don't think Michigan's going to allow it to go away. And I think they're going to get this guy. And now where do they go from here? This has been the craziest offseason of all time for coaches. And every 15 minutes you see another guy linked to Penn State's job, and then you see that they've re-signed with the job that the current has. I don't even know where they would go from here in terms of trying to get a coach, but they want Sharon Moore gone, and I fully expect that to hit wide circulation here over the next 48, 72 hours.
Yeah, and I'm going to show this clip just to excuse me, add on to what you were saying about the delusion and the arrogance. And it's like it flows from the head down. Again, when you don't have the fraudulent 4 in a row to really cling to, the 3-year cheating scandal that you did get caught doing, you got punished in a way that is not normal. You got fined a whole lot of money, so they think they got away with it. Now you held that dominant L in the big blouse, and so that flower is withering quickly. But I wanted to play this real quick. Nevada is funny. I posted a sort of a meme about this on my socials, on my Facebook page, and a Michigan fan came in the comments and called me mean words and said you're making stuff up, and showed a screenshot of Google saying there's no Bryce Underwood didn't say anything about Matt Patricia. Here is the video of Charles Woodson on the Big Ten Network interviewing Bryce Underwood. I don't know if you heard this, Nevada, but check this out. Here's the quote. Here we go.
Sure. When you turn that film on, what do you see?
Me versus Matt Patricia. That's all it is.
That's simple.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Michigan's won 4 straight.
This young fella fixed his lips and said when he watches film, he sees me versus Matt Patricia. Are you freaking kidding me right now? And the Michigan fan, he thought it was so ridiculous that he just, you're just making stuff up, B. Moses. And I sent him a clip of this. He has not responded since. That was hours ago. I'm surprised he didn't delete his comment.
Well, no, hold on. With AI generation, you could have just put the words in his mouth, right? You could put the words in anybody's mouth. So maybe he didn't really say that, B. Maybe that's just a little AI program that you put in there and you said, AI, have him say the stupidest thing that you possibly could, and that's what came out of his mouth.
This is their program. This is their culture. I mean, how arrogant and delusional are you? Me versus Matt Patricia, the same Matt Patricia who game planned against not Tom Brady, Peyton Manning and all the great Hall of Fame quarterbacks and has 3 Super Bowl rings. It's just like, but then you can't play. Michigan fans can't play the kid card. Oh, he's young. He's a freshman. He's a kid. Okay. And he's getting paid a lot of grown man money. And you hitched your wagon to him to get you to the promised land. And you said as much, Portnoy, Steve DeAce, others, when you acquired him. So I don't want to hear none of that kid stuff at all. And so the stats ain't statting and the math ain't mathing with how much you paid him. Shout out to my homie DeJuan West. He brought out a good point. He sent a screenshot to our group of Braxton Miller's true freshman stats to show you that, yeah, a true freshman can get busy on a big stage. Listen, I think he is doomed to really not be good unless he leaves there and gets development, because he does have some tools, but he's not going to get them developed there at the team up north, Nevada.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because you realize, like, with all this Sharon Moore hate, some of this stuff's coming from inside his camp too. They're blaming the Underwood camp's blaming Moore for his lack of development, for his lack of a forward-looking offense, for whatever it can do, because Underwood's not going to accept any of the blame himself. And I'm telling you, I've been saying this since the day one on Underwood. We've had this discussion before when people talk about the tools or the raw material or whatever it is with Underwood. Man, I'm just telling you right now, I don't see it. I don't see it. All I see is a guy who's got a better than average arm. That's all that I see. And I would put better than average arm about 175th on my list of the most important attributes for a quarterback. I'm just telling you. Like, he's not twitchy. He's not a fast processor. He's not accurate. His mechanics stink. He's low character. He's not a leader. I mean, it's like just check. I mean, I don't see it. And so I'm not sure if he can be salvaged. I really don't. And I mean that sincerely. When people are talking about him being a first-round draft pick, the #1 player, I mean, I'd watch it. I watched with an open mind when I watch him, and I'm like, man, I don't get it. And I talk to people that I know, they're like, there is a reason he didn't go to Elite 11. He didn't even go. And the reason he didn't go to Elite 11 is because he can't throw the football. And you go to Elite 11 and you can't throw the football, you're going to get exposed. And I'm thinking, well, just maybe his legs are golden, because like Braxton Miller could go out there as good a thrower as Braxton was, and he was a good thrower, not a great thrower, but a good thrower.
Yeah.
But he could change the game with his legs, right? He didn't need to throw the ball. He could run the ball and completely turn the game around with run the ball. Can Bryce Underwood do that? How would Bryce Underwood do in a foot race with Braxton Miller? I mean, he'd finish second and third running against Braxton Miller. I mean, right? I mean, there's no chance. I mean, Braxton Miller could pull a wagon behind him and still beat Bryce Underwood. I mean, Bryce Underwood, he's not a fast guy. Is there ever a time you watch him and say, "Wow, look at him turn the corner.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that burst. Look at him run away from the guy"? No. So he's not fast. He's not smart. He's not a fast processor. He's not high character. He's not accurate. He doesn't have great mechanics. And that to me, that means you don't have great arm talent. So what are we talking about here?
That's fair. That's fair. I guess from my standpoint, I'm being charitable because he's a true freshman. And so it's like, if he was in a better program, you may be able to pull something out of him. But you're right. Braxton Miller, elite athleticism, just as good or better arm. I think Braxton Miller, obviously, he's not on the level of Stroud and Sayin and guys like that. But I think his arm was unappreciated because he made some nice throws in his time here. But he wasn't a pocket passer, pick you apart type of passer. But Braxton is top 5 for me. He's one of my favorite Buckeyes. But you make fair points. The character things, and listen, we all know he came here for the bag too, y'all. Can we stop lying? Not, I mean, the collective we, figuratively speaking. He went there for the bag. He dissed the team up north twice publicly in interviews about their lack of development. So, and listen, go take the money. Take the money. Okay, cool. But consequences come with that. And we're already starting to see it. So that's fair, Nevada. I mean, he's young, so I'm giving him some room to say, maybe he can end up being a really good player, maybe solid player. But yeah, this is not a great start for this kid. Uh-oh. We got the boy, Justin Spiro, in the house. What's up, brother? Glad you can join us.
Can you guys hear me okay? I don't think I've ever done it this way.
No, you sound great. Sound great, man.
Cool. All right. So if I have to drop off, it's because I have a call coming in about this very story, actually. But I'm happy to call back if that does happen, unless it runs long. I caught some of what you were saying. The last thing I heard was some comparison between Braxton Miller and Bryce Underwood. And I think, Nevada, you're selling Braxton Miller a little short. That guy was a two-time Big Ten MVP as a quarterback. I think it's more than a little bit better than Bryce Underwood, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, like I said, we're trying to be charitable on the show today in terms of what's going on. But I mean, like, I just look at Underwood. I'm like, he's playing his 12th game too. Like we're talking about him like it's his first game as a trooper. This is his 12th game. His 12th game was his worst game. And like that's not generally the way it's supposed to work. Generally, you're supposed to get better. He threw for 1 yard more than the Make-A-Wish kid that was playing quarterback for Michigan the year before. And like I just think he's trash. I think he's bad. I don't think he's ever going to be a great college quarterback, and I think he's got zero chance to have a future in the NFL, other than like maybe in the food service aspect of the NFL or program selling or something else like that. But I mean, I just don't see any of the attributes that I would attribute with I mean, look, think about the Michigan State. Think about like Kirk Cousins when he was at Michigan State or something like that. You look at him and you kind of go, well, you can tell he can at least play quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like he can throw the ball, he can layer the ball in over the wire. Well, wake me the first time that Bryce Underwood throws anything other than 100-mile-an-hour fastball high and away to 10 yards outside the field. But yes, but I digress. We're not on the topic of the day though. On the topic of the day though is Michigan going after Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
So, Justin, have you heard anything that would give some validity to what we're saying there?
Well, I haven't heard everything what you've said. I'll tell you that Sharon Moore is very close to being fired. And like most things with the University of Michigan, all their criticisms of other people tend to boomerang. They ripped on Ohio State for years for the tattoo gate, ended up having a far worse scandal. They ripped on Michigan State for the Mel Tucker situation they have on their hands pretty soon. In my opinion, a far worse scandal of the same sort of ilk. So it's just typical them, and it'll be interesting to see how they spin it. But these people can't say anything at all without it eventually boomeranging on them, and that's what you get when you're a hypocrite. On that level, I think they're going to get what they deserve, and they tend to get what they deserve in these matters. And there's nothing they ever say or do that does not come back to bite them. And this is just another example. And the difference here, with like some of the stuff with by reporting on Harbaugh and that situation with the sign stealing scandal, they were obviously in the midst of their Mickey Mouse phony success. I don't really consider it success. I consider the whole thing a fugazi. But in their minds, in their deluded minds, it was a legitimate thing that was taking place and things were going well. And that's why you had people showing up at my house, dropping off threatening Zodiac letters on my porch when my kids are 15 yards away playing, because they didn't want any sort of disruption of this great run that they thought that they were on. That it's a little different now because I honestly, half of the Michigan people I'm talking to, and some of them even openly, publicly in the mentions that anybody could go see in my replies in the last 24 hours, it's about half are saying, oh yeah, go get them out. Like that, they're actually almost rooting for my reporting on this. And so that's a little bit different. And, I understand the funny, like my friend Dylan, you guys, might know, he's a fan of your guys' work, and Buckeye alum, good friend of mine. And, he's on the replies of all my stuff saying, delete this. We want to keep Sharon Moore, in place. And I understand that. But the bottom line is, it is another black eye on this institution. This will be yet another staffer that Jim Harbaugh brought to this, campus up there in Ann Arbor in this program that left in disgrace. And that is where this is ultimately headed. And, it's a perfect representation of the absolute cesspool up there. They are everything that they say you are and we are in East Lansing. So it's just, another in a long line of disgraced staffers. Jim Harbaugh had 6 staffers arrested in the time that he was in Ann Arbor. I mean, 6 staffers arrested. Think about that. Michigan State is at 0, by the way, in that time frame. 6, and it would be 7, but they didn't arrest Alex Yude, who was trying to meet a child for sex at Walmart. So really, it should be 7, and that doesn't include the non-arrests, people banned from the sport like Jesse Minner. Sherrod Moore technically has multiple show causes at this point. Obviously, Connor Stallions, Jim Harbaugh himself. This is the most disgraced, dirty cesspool in the history of college athletics. And this is just yet another example of this. And what I think is really interesting about my reporting on this, and it'll make it interesting as they try to terminate Sherrod Moore for some of these activities, is they have had knowledge of this behavior and this underlying conduct for years, and some aspects of it for only, quote unquote, several months. The reason that's a legal challenge potentially for them, and this will never see the inside of a courtroom, both sides know better, but where I see this going is Sharon Moore will get a little bit juicier of a settlement from them, because if you're Sharon Moore and they fire you for cause, well, it's a pretty easy argument for him to say, you guys knew about this for months and in some cases years, depending on which piece of conduct we're talking about here. Why are you firing me for cause now? And the bottom line is, if they were in the playoff picture, hell, if they had beaten you guys, I'm not talking about perfect season, just 10-2 with a win over the Buckeyes this past Saturday, I think they squashed this. And that's going to be part of his argument. It's a good argument for him. But I would be I'm not reporting that he's definitely out. It's not there yet. But I've spoken to multiple people at Michigan that say it's very close. He is in dangerous, dangerous waters. They seem to think it's inevitable. There's 2 different timelines here. And it's hard to explain without giving away the story and things that aren't, I don't have the green light on yet, but I'll put it this way. There's a couple different but similar ways he can be derailed here, or his employment in Ann Arbor can be derailed, and they're on 2 separate timelines. If it goes one way, we're talking about within a week. If it goes a different way, if he escapes that landmine, we're in a 6 to 8 week timeline, because there's an active investigation going on regarding some of this underlying conduct, and the timeline that they have been given from the people contracted, whatever you want to say, to run this investigation has been about, I think it's about 6 to 8 weeks out from now was the estimate for the result of that investigation. So he might get tripped up by this other thing before that even comes out, or he might dodge that bullet. Really, it's kind of up to me. I mean, I could publish the thing right now, and that'll be the end of that. But if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, or just felt guilty and didn't want to do it for some reason, it's going to come out eventually with or without me. And then that might get you more into the 6 to 8 week timeline. So there's a lot going on here, which is what happens when you got your toes in many, many different white blonde girl ponds.
Oh no! Oh no! You didn't go there! Oh no!
Stop it.
Oh,
Sharon Moore has a type. They are white blonde women. They are all white blonde. They're all white blonde women.
No.
That is it's hilarious, Justin, because you were cooking, giving information, and then you
high road.
Ended with that. Listen, that's hilarious. But hey, if he has a type, he has a type.
That's part of the reporting. That's his type. I'm sorry, but it's when I'm up to my 5th woman I've talked to, and they're all between the ages of 25 to 38, 39, and they're all skinny blonde white women. He has a type, and that he's allowed to have a type, but it's certainly unbecoming to be trying to meet up for dinner with various.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah. Have I said too much?
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, let's just say I've seen some of these exchanges personally, and
I think
they're
you're channeling your inside voice now, Justin. I think that's what's going on.
well, I can be a little more informal here, but and it's funny because and this is one of the callbacks I'm waiting on. It could be any minute, it could be an hour, I don't know, because the Michigan is they're well aware. Ward Manuel has had multiple conversations with his team up there, athletic director at University of Michigan today. They're very aware of what's going on. They've known what's going on for years with this guy, that's part of the reporting. If you've known about this stuff, why is this guy even here? Why is he still there, regardless of performance? And really, like I was talking to one of my top Michigan sources, about this.
I wonder
Do
if
we?
Justin got the
Oh
call. You
wow,
still there?
Justin.
Yeah, he
Oh
probably he probably got the
um,
call.
that could be, or Michigan could be hacking his comms right now.
We'll leave him up here just in case.
Well, no, we
And
need to replace that picture with a picture of like a skinny blonde woman there on the picture of Justin Spears.
that was great.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was great.
I'm trying to be all nice about this. We're trying to take the high road here on the Buckeye Scoop show. And then Justin just pulls us right down in the gutter with that, man. That was
I was not ready for that, man. Just
no.
like Fats Underwood wasn't ready for Matt Patricia, I was not ready
Oh
for
man.
Spiro to end his rant with that comment.
Oh my
Hilarious.
oh my
But
goodness. Wow.
hey, you brought it on yourself more. But listen, this is what we can do. Super chats are starting to pile. We can start diving into those. If Justin comes back in, we can bring him back in. Is that cool, or did you want to add on to what he said? Or
I think we go into the super chats, and then when Justin comes back in, because he's coming back in, he's coming back in strong too. He's going to come in firing. So let's go to super chats now.
let me check my make sure he didn't text me. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open. All right, boom. Hilarious turn of events here. I might have to clip that. Devin, we might have to clip that and make it a YouTube short. All right. Iowa Buck, thanks for the $9.99. Feels amazing to exercise that demon. I will be in Indy for the game and feel more confident than ever that we are going back to back. Also, any worries about the O-line? Kidding, of course. OH, Nevada. Okay, so hold on. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. First of all, Iowa Buck is a great dude. I got to meet him. Me and Dev got to meet him at Wisconsin for the game. Great dude. And so great comment. And I'm glad you're going. I was tempted to try to go to Indy. Last time I went, it was amazing, but I'm not going to go. Have lots of fun. And I do feel confident that we are on the path to back as well. Nevada, what you got on this?
Yeah, no, I obviously feel good about that. Want to talk about the O line in particular. I mean, through the O line's been under attack, kind of withering attack all year from the pundits. The whatever Colton Langways and the whatever Kyle Jones and the people talking about how bad our offensive line was. And I've been on the other side of that argument all season. I'm like, look, this is 4 of the same 5 guys that we won the national championship with. I believe that our problems are generally scheme and predictability, related. And I think that when we play, a little bit, when we break that run pass pattern, and we come out with a little bit more aggressive game plan, some better running schemes, they'll look better. And what happened? We came out first play of the game, didn't complete it, threw the bomb to Carnell Tate, but it kind of sent a message that this was going to be a different kind of game plan. I thought our run schemes were excellent, except for in the red zone. I thought, look, when we got predictable in the red zone, what happened, B? We got stopped.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's I want to talk just for a second about the 4 tight end stuff. Because somebody asked me today, what is
hold
that
on
all
real quick, Nevada, just to let you know, Justin is waiting to get back in, but just want to let you know.
Okay, I'll finish my thing, then we'll go back to the skinny blonde girl, Justin Spiro. But the 4 tight end thing, like I really feel like that's Ryan Day's way of like throwing a bone to the tight end room, to Keegan and the guys that they feel like they've got a good room, and they've kind of like give them a thing. And here's your thing is the the goal, around the goal line thing, but it doesn't work, man. It's not working. Ryan, if you're listening to this, and I know you do, when you're sitting around the household right now with the kids, let's go away from it. Don't take Carnell and JJ off the field, please. Don't take your two best players. Spread them out, and then you can run that stuff in it. You can do it. You could bring Lincoln in at a wing back, and then road him in there in motion, and have him take the quarterback sneak. I mean, there's a million things you can do out that. But the four tight end stuff, let's get rid of it. Not a
Yeah,
fan, but the O line, I am a fan, and I've got and they kicked arse this
they
weekend,
did.
man.
They
They did.
absolutely did. I'm gonna try. Speaking of the tight ends, though, I do want to show a quick clip of Kazmarek later if we can. Just absolutely destroying the scum player more. But anyway, Justin, we did lose you. Were you still talking
Man,
when?
I talked for like 9 minutes. I have no
Oh
idea what
no! Oh no!
I was dropping absolute bombshells, and
Oh
you probably
no!
missed them.
Oh
When
oh
did I
no!
get cut off?
Skinny blonde chicks. Skinny blonde
That
chicks.
that was like 8 minutes ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. We was like Justin.
Justin, yeah. You
Oh,
thought
this
So
is why I got to get back in my studio and like get actually with my laptop and stuff. This never happens under normal circumstances.
no, we thought that
It,
Michigan had hacked your comms like they did ours on Saturday.
yeah, well, it would be very on brand for them. I mean,
Yeah.
basically what I was saying in so many words, and I mentioned it earlier, I believe, before I got cut off in passing, is that this whole thing is very on brand for them because I have known about this for a very long time. And did you hear the part, B Moses, where I said I quote tweeted myself from an August 15th post? Was I talking to a wall or was I on the air for that part?
no, you were talking to a wall. But
Okay, I was.
I did read that tweet. I believe it's the same tweet.
Okay, so you saw it. So anyone out there, if you want to pull it up, whatever, do your thing, it doesn't matter. Anyone can go to my feed and see a post from today where I'm quote tweeting a post from August 15th, where I'm alluding to in the August 15th post that Sharon Moore, everyone's saying, oh, he escaped the sign stealing scandal and haha. And I said, he's not out of the woods yet, and I suspect his days of scandal are not over, or something to that effect. And that was in regards to the stuff we're seeing and come out, sort of trickle out now. And the reason I find that interesting is because I have known about this stuff for a very long time, and so has the Michigan people, which begs the question: well, why didn't they act on this and get this guy out of here if they're going to fire him for something now or within a couple of weeks? That they already knew about, like what was the holdup. And the bottom line is, had they beaten you guys on Saturday, I don't think we're having this conversation because they're not leaking this stuff out, which is rushing up my reporting on it, making me have to report some of it before I report all of it. But the fact is that this is an institution driven entirely by results. They threw Rich Rod under the bus. Goes back way before Harbaugh. If they were having a better season, or had they had a better season, even if they had just gone 10-2 with a win over you guys this past Saturday, and they were in the CFP field, I don't think any of this stuff comes out, and they don't have the appetite, which just speaks to the institution. This has nothing to do with the morals of it. They have known about multiple incidents of misconduct that absolutely clearly violate the moral turpitude clause in their coach's contract and have not acted on it. And when I asked one of my top Michigan sources, a Michigan official, in the offseason, why, hey, I talked to you a few months ago. You were saying, before the Ohio State upset win in Columbus, you said this guy's in total disarray. You don't think he's it. The board doesn't like him. The AD doesn't like him, blah, blah, blah. And he has all this other baggage going on. Why is he still getting pumped out? And why is he still there at all, for one? But why does he seem to suddenly have the support? Was that crazy upset win in Columbus worth that much in terms of goodwill and overriding this? And his exact response verbatim was, he's recruiting like a maniac right now. That was the exact quote. Which he was. I mean, it was right. Like they had flipped Underwood, which had nothing to do with Jerome, but whatever.
Right.
But they were recruiting well, and they had they were basking in the glow of an Ohio State upset victory that wouldn't have even happened if not for with two missed holding calls and two shanked chip shot field goals in perfect weather. But I digress. And of course, that Mickey Mouse win in a monsoon in Alabama, where it was an opt-out bowl. Alabama had 17 guys not playing. So the bottom line is, when things were going well, they were willing to look past this stuff. So I think Sharon Moore will ultimately be blown out of there, and I think it'll be relatively soon. I talked about earlier the kind of the two different timelines that this could be on. So whether it's within a week or whether it's in 2 months, I think that's where this lands. But I don't think it lands there, at least not without me reporting it, regardless of their success. I don't think we get there if they're having a better season, which just speaks to the institution. I mean, they are transactional. They have no program culture whatsoever. Their morals, their ethics, it's based entirely on the success on the field. And he is not a good enough coach to bury bodies for. Not literally, but figuratively, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
He's not a good enough coach to cover up stuff for. So that's where I don't think that's why this stuff is coming out. Had they won on Saturday, I don't think it's coming out, at least not from them.
Nevada, did you want to respond to that? I was just going to quickly say real quick that they are a full-fledged win at all cost program. What you just said further confirms that, when he was recruiting heavy and all that other stuff, okay, well, let's just let it ride. I mean, let me ask you this, Justin, real quick. Do you think there were at least a good amount in the program that were starting to maybe believe that since he was recruiting well, he beat Ohio State, he beat Alabama, that he was going to morph into this good coach? Or do you think they were still thinking, we'll ride this wave, but we know it's temporary? Like, what do you think the pulse of that base was?
Well, yeah, I don't really have to speculate. I can tell you as a matter of fact, because I've had those conversations multiple times, and the answer has always been the same, is that at no point have they ever been deluded into thinking that this is some brilliant tactician. Now, like even Ryan Day's biggest critics, if they have any knowledge whatsoever, have always respected his acumen as a football mind, really high football IQ, brilliant offensive mind, brilliant offensive coordinator, etc. Nobody, even in the Sharon camp, is under any delusions of him being some brilliant IQ guy. But they were of the belief, and they explicitly laid this out to me, because I've asked that same question. Like, why even stick with this idiot? Like, I mean, I hate Michigan, but even I think they can do better than this guy. And the response was, we think this is a talent accumulation business, especially in this era. And he's recruiting well, and talent, cream's going to rise to the to the top, on the field. Like, it's just, this is going to resolve itself, and as long as he's recruiting at an elite level, we'll be fine. And he was recruiting at that level, and still has. He is a good recruiter. I mean, that's been demonstrated. I think it's pretty easy to recruit there, but he is a good recruiter. And they have a lot of financial backing built largely off the momentum of the cheating window. But so they're not. What is it? I don't know. I did not make that fart sound. I don't know what that was. But
I was gonna let it ride. I was just gonna let it ride.
I heard it, but that was not me.
Me either.
So, I think Nevada's not denying it. But
Oh my God! Random comedy, man.
You guys heard that, right? I'm not like.
Yeah, I heard it, but I was just like, let's just keep rolling.
I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was on my end, but that's static. That's not flatulence. But that aside, we got to play back the tape. There's going to be Zapruder type analysis of that one. Maybe that's the guy, the Michigan staffer trying to hack our comms. Maybe he had some beans tonight or something.
Stop it.
Anyway, we're having a little bit too much fun here now. But the bottom line is, as usual, I'm right, and I hate to say it, but I mean, I'm right about everything, and this will be another example. And that's just where this is, and it's a disgrace of an institution. They are everything that they claim that you guys and Spartans are. They are the dirtbags that they purport us to be. And I look forward to yet another story boomeranging on them. It always happens. They never learn their lesson. They're not going to learn their lesson this time. There'll be something else that they rip on you guys for, or rip on me for, or rip on my school for, or rip on the SEC for, or whatever, and then they'll end up doing the same thing within 1 to 5 years, and usually it's a worse version of whatever they were complaining about. It's the worst institution of all time. I told you guys before the game on Saturday that you were going to vanquish them and that you were going to end this plague, and you've done that. I mean, really, you guys are going to be the ones that push Sharon out, because had they won, they would be right back into cover-up mode. That's what these people do. Sorry, but that's what the track record says. I mean, how many staffers have to get arrested or banned from the sport for a decade plus before people start believing that they are objectively corrupt? I mean, that's where we're at. I'm sorry, I'm not the one doing it. I'm not the one arresting them. I'm not the one committing the crimes that they're being arrested for. I'm just sitting here pointing out what's happening, and the facts speak for themselves. It is a corrupt, dirty institution. I've never seen any program within 100 miles of their level of corruption, the cesspoolic nature of it up there. I will forever feel bad for Buckeyes that were the direct and by far largest victims of this type of stuff at their expense. And, it's just the whole thing has been a disgrace. And this is a fitting story. It's just another in a long line of their hypocrisies that they will pay for ultimately with the court of public opinion, if nothing else.
Yeah. I'm sorry, fellas. This show was just hilarious. This is somebody in the chat. You know what I thought about Justin in Nevada? One of my favorite movies, Liar Liar, when Jim Carrey was in the elevator and they were smelling the fart. He said it was me. And he grabbed
Oh yeah.
Hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry. We're trying to be serious. We're trying to be serious. Let's be serious.
I can't wait to pull back the tape, but like that sounded like a straight up fart, did it not?
It did. It did. It did.
I don't know.
Fartgate.
I cannot emphasize enough that was not me.
But that's
if anything, I would wait to let that one rip, like when I wasn't talking. But
hey, that's symbolic to the program that we're talking about. It's just it's a everlasting fart up there in Ann Arbor. Just
I think it's Don Thomas, and we just heard it from Ann Arbor.
There's gonna be a lot of people who love that comment.
Oh my goodness.
Man. Good
I
stuff.
had a great time. I had a great time at my Buckeye tailgate with his Barstool Tate and like 7 of his college buddies. Great guys. I had a really good time. Saturday was a blast. Hey, poor Tate was such a mess. He texted me afterwards like, "Sorry, bro. Sorry, I was a little tenser than usual." I'm like, "Man, I never met you before. I had no baseline for what your level of tension is." But I mean, Nevada, you and I were in the same boat because I've heard what you've said when they went down. When you guys went down 6-0, and we were both just like, "They're fine, whatever." Tate was like, "Here we go again."
To be fair, he made a crazy bet, so I can understand his anxiety a little bit. Walking back from Ann Arbor with a third base in his arms in the freezing cold, I give him a little bit of grace for his.
I give him a lot of grace. I get it. I'm usually a miserable mess too, but it's not really my team. It's my coach because Ryan Day is like my favorite coach ever. But it's not really my team. I mean, it's this thing like if you guys had fired Ryan Day and he went and coached at Vermont or something, I'd be rocking Vermont hoodies. It's just I'm a big Ryan Day guy. But yeah, Tate's a great guy. I really really enjoyed my day with him and. It was awesome. I'm going to let you go because I got a text. I got to call this guy back. It's about this very story.
White chicks.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's go watch the movie White Chicks tonight with
I've spoken to multiple women involved in this, and it's like, hey, can you send me screenshots? And because some of them I don't know. I don't know what they look like. And then I see their profile pictures, and it's all they all look like the same woman, basically. I mean, there is a little age variance, to be fair, but it's like, oh, okay, like I'm noticing a trend here, and let's just say they all fit a certain type. It's there's not like he doesn't have an eclectic blend. It's like. I can tell you exactly. Like, name any woman in the world, show me a picture of her or whatever. I'll be like, yeah, Sharon is. I'll tell you whether Sharon would like her or not. It's a pretty basic template. But I appreciate you guys as always. Good luck in the CFP. I'm sure I'll be talking to you I got a monster futures on Ohio State again. You guys have paid for multiple vacations already. I hope you pay for one or two more. The Buckeyes have
Nice.
made me a wealthy man. So thank you, Ryan Day, and best of luck going forward.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
You bet.
All right, brother. Peace. Great stuff as always
No,
from
no, hold
Justin
on. Now
Sparrow,
we,
man.
we learned something today. Obviously we learned something today, and it's like what I learned is I want to hang out with Sharon Moore. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always the guy that was going after the dark-haired girls. You know what I'm saying? Like the short dark-haired girls. And he can be the one going after the blondes. So he's the perfect wingman for Nevada Buck. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Sharon Moore and I, we got a party together. It's like, come on, Sharon, give me a call. We'll hang out. We're gonna go out there. We'll have a few beers, have a few laughs. We can talk about the games. We can talk about the cheating. We can talk about Harbaugh. And you get all the skinny white chicks there, man. I mean, it's on. This is on, man.
Oh
I'm telling
man,
you, this works for me.
this is incredible. Nevada, listen, have y'all seen Nevada? Have you seen a movie called Undercover Brother?
I have
With
seen Undercover. Yes,
oh
I
my
have.
God, it is a fantastic movie. It has Dave Chappelle in it. For those who don't know, Eddie Griffith, several actors. It's a comedy. It's hilarious. I'm going to share my screen. This is who I thought about. This is Sharon Moore. I guess in the 70s, since there's an afro with his, with the blonde. This is the blonde I thought about, and I can't remember her name for some reason, and it's probably on the screen. But that's hilarious, man. That's just good stuff. But anyway, lots of unexpected stuff on the show. We got Fartgate, we got Blind White Girl Gate, we got what else do you want to add?
On Fartgate, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. What I really think happened is I was holding the phone near Molly, my Chihuahua, that's sitting here next to me. And I think Molly ripped one. I think I really do. I do think that was. I think that was a. I think it was a dog fart. I really think it was a dog fart. I really believe that.
Boy,
Molly,
that is crazy,
Molly,
bro. That
Molly,
we got Chihuahuas farting on the screen. Denise Richards, that's her name. Denise Richards, man. That's what I thought about. That is funny. Oh boy, let's get to these super chats. I can't even imagine what's next. What's next on these super chats?
Let's go.
Good Lord. All right. Here we go. Dan Welch, thanks for the 2. It just shows how bad Sting again really is. OH, Nevada?
Yeah,
it does. Simply said, like we said, their win over us last year, their fluky win over us was like the last ditch effort. It was the last thing they were clinging to. You know, like Wile E. Coyote on the cartoon, he's clinging, and then the Roadrunner says "me," and then he just falls and collapses. They were clinging, and so now that is over, and the foreseeable future does not look good for you. Defeating the Buckeyes, we're over the mental psychological hump that was created by cheating, and so what you got now? What you got, Nevada?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, I've said this many times, but that game, more than anything, changed the way Ryan Day thinks about football. And it changes his approach. And since then, he's ripped off 16 straight wins, including, I think, 7 of them against ranked opponents, 5 of them against top 5 opponents. I mean, he's turned him into like a radioactive beast. And it all stemmed from that game. And sometimes you have to make mistakes and learn from it. So, hey, I think we're going to look back fondly upon the 2024 game. As terrible as that sounds, I think we're going to look. That was the thing that started this whole thing, and it's hard to argue otherwise.
Yep. And real quick, as we're on the topic, I thought this was a dope comparison. The Scarlet and Gray Podcast X account posted Boren standing over Gardner, and then they posted Sonny standing over Kudzal. Kudzal? I'm not sure how to say his name, but I thought that was a dope picture. And then let me show you. Check this out, y'all. This is Kaz Merrick manhandling this dude. He had a quote talking about, I forget what the quote was, but he was tripping, talking about Ohio State. Look at this. Kaz Merrick comes over. Sit down, little boy. Get on the just absolutely manhandles it. Look at that. I love it. Let me see if I can find a quote. We'll get back to the super chat. Here it is.
There was a minute tape of Kaz Merrick. Kaz Merrick is just wrecking fools in that game.
Yes.
I'm telling you, like you want to talk about an underrated portal pickup.
Yeah.
Kazmarek. Holy shnikes, man. He
Yeah.
went out there. He was blowing fools. You see the one time he picked the gap and like body slammed the
Yes.
defensive lineman on the ground? I mean,
Yeah.
go if you guys get a chance to watch that, look for the Will Kazmarek thing. 1 minute and 1 second. Very well worth your time in terms of doing it. Unbelievable. But let's get to the quote. Does it have
Yep.
white chicks? Does it have skinny white chicks in the quote anywhere?
Unfortunately, it does not.
Okay,
What are
okay,
we
okay.
doing here?
What are we doing? What are we
All right,
doing?
let's see. We got okay, Derek Moore is his name. You know it's not no real win if y'all ain't beat us. But I'm going to congratulate them on that win. But this year is going to be different. He was asked about Ohio State's national championship last year. Just talking extra dumb and goofy and ridiculous. But hold that L, young man. And I need you to kiss that snow on your turf, courtesy of Will Kazmarek. I freaking love it. All right, let's go. What we got next? Karis, thanks for being a Scoop Archer member. Thanks for the 199, and thank you for alerting me of Spiro wanting to call in. I was able to shoot him the link, so thank you so much, Karis. Great member of Buckeye Scoop family. We always appreciate you. Good looking out. You got anything on that, Nevada, before we move on?
Nah, just thanks, Cars. Thanks for always being there for us, buddy. And we really appreciate you. Never take you for granted. So thank you very much.
Another great one, Mike Green. Thanks for the 499. So the Team Up North players had to plan that guard the M after a loss. These dummies planned their own demise. Haha, such idiots, and more watch them do it. Yes, I told y'all yesterday, the comedian, I forget his name, he brought out the point. He had a long comedic rant. He's a Florida fan, actually, but he was praising Ohio State, how dominant we were. And he brought up the point, like, if you think about it, they planned to lose. They already had in their mind that they were going to lose, and they had a plan for after they lost. That is amazing, Nevada.
Well, Justin talked about the hypocrisy, and you used 57 different examples of the hypocrisy of Michigan, but the hypocrisy of how they go and plant the flag last year and they don't understand how that can be an issue, and then they form their little brigade around Chase Herbstreit, leading the King's Guard there to defend the M after the game. It was, I mean,
The King's Guard.
it was embarrassing. All he needed was like the white cloak and everything else like that out there. We guard the M. We guard the M.
Jamie Lannister out there.
Jamie Lannister after cutting him down.
The hand of the king.
Exactly. I'm not threatening the king. I'm educating him.
Oh man, yeah, it's just all types of buffoonery all over the place, man. Agreed. All right, Ted Warren, thanks for the 5. Why wasn't holding called on the defender on JJ's TD? The referees must have felt sorry for him because he absolutely toasted him. JJ Smith put on a clinic on that route. I mean, just absolutely murdered him. I mean, that was textbook route running right there, Nevada. But yes, that was clearly a hold. But resulted in a touchdown, regardless of what Joe Klatt says. It was a touchdown. He was a runner at that point. He had full possession going across the goal line. So people are just, bro, that whole, I don't even get into that. Maybe you can, but it's dumb. He scored. It was a TD. Anyway, what you got?
Yeah, no, clearly he scored, and that was a soul silly thing. But I said it at the time, that should have been pass interference. How do you not call pass interference when a guy cooks a guy and the defender grabs him 10 yards down the field and almost turns him around, and JD still goes past the guy? Yeah, brutal non-call by the officials. A flag should have been thrown on that. But I'm not going to say anything about the officials because they got that one right. After the Clemson game, where they ruled that not a touchdown on the Akuta strip in way back in 2019, which I'll never get over. I never trust replay. I was convinced they were going to screw this one up, and they didn't. So no complaints from me about the officials. And but yeah, crazy that didn't merit a flag.
Yep, and even if they did, guess what, Scum fans? You lose 20-9 and still
Exactly.
get dominated in yardage in every other phase of the game. So have a seat. All right, what we got next? Raiden, I love that name. Makes me think of Mortal Kombat. Thanks for the $4.99. I want to know more about 1, the cops breaking up a fight in the tunnel post game. 2, Quinn Temple in the power lines. Lastly, Underwood will go to LSU. So yeah, I've been hearing stuff about the cops in the tunnel. A few media members have mentioned it, and all of that. I mean, I don't have intimate details about that. Maybe Nevada has something, maybe not. But yeah, we talked about in the beginning of the show. I don't know if you joined late, but towards the beginning we showed footage of Quinn Temple and another Ohio State staffer arguing like we got beef. We about to we beefing arguing in front of the comms box with Michigan staffers or whoever they were. And so, yeah, Quinn Temple is like Ryan Day's right-hand man. I mean, this was a serious matter. This was not I wonder what's wrong and maybe the snow is causing it. No, we're pissed off. We're in your face. You better get out of here or it's going to be some problems type of contention. And we showed that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Underwood went to LSU. Nevada, what you got?
Well, first of all, the tunnel incident. The tunnel has been a source of problems for Michigan. They have both teams go up the same tunnel, and it's been a problem forever. There's been multiple incidents with Michigan on this. But they keep running the guys up there, and the Michigan players were waiting in the tunnel, trying to cause problems on the way out. But is that really a surprise? I mean, the entire game, Michigan players were trying to start stuff the entire game.
Right.
And it was one side. This isn't like mutual combat where both teams are going at each other. It was one-way action. They were coming at the Ohio State guys. It was so obviously part of the Sharon Moore game plan to try to goad the Ohio State guys, try to embellish things, try to draw penalties, flop, do whatever it was going to be. But yes, after the game, the Michigan players were standing in the tunnel, waiting, trying to provoke fights with the Ohio State players, and the cops kept them back in terms of doing it. So there were no incidents, but it wasn't for lack of trying on behalf of Michigan. Classless program. Just try. I just love the fact that we killed them. I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean killed. We killed them. They are done. They're going to fire their coach. They're going to start over. I mean, the whole thing's down because everything's been propped up on the illusion of this 4-game fake winning streak that they had against us from cheating, and now it's all gone, and they got nothing. Man, it's like waking up and you realize you're there and you got nothing. And I couldn't be that of all the things that I'm happy about. That's the thing that makes me the happiest is that we've ended this reign of terror of this stupid cheating scandal. I feel like it finally ended for me. I finally got my justice. We finally enacted the bowl ban. We gave it to them on Saturday. Enjoy the Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever bowl you guys are going to.
Yep. And it's funny. I just thought about another item. Justin has said everything they've tried. They've basically tried to project all of their issues, insecurities onto us. Or just wishing ill on us, it's coming back on them. Remember, a lot of their whole spiel, Nevada and chat and viewers, was we're going to get your coach fired, 0-5 loading, and we're going to get Ryan Day fired. Well, guess what? Now your coach is on the hot seat, at least in their media members' eyes and some of the fans. So funny how that works, right? So anyway, let's move on. What we got next? All right. Ace BGIE, thanks for the 5. I was at Scum Game and nothing was better than doing the OHIO chant in the stadium, plus yelling and cheering extra loud because of the Root fans. OH Nevada? I'll be honest with you. I was very okay. I've seen us take over stadiums before, even the Team Up North Stadium. So that's not like I've never seen it before. But I was surprised to see as much scarlet as I saw in the stadium when they first start showing pregame warmups and the game starting. I was like, wow, we really we showed up hard, like crazy. Listen, the atmosphere in there was just beautiful. From the snow that they said that that was going to be our demise. All the Buckeye fans, Brutus with an MVP performance, the celebration after the game. It was just glorious. I'm gonna go rewatch the game tonight again. just soak it in. What you got, Nevada?
Well, how about JJ's double birds? Where does JJ's double birds rate on the thing? Does that surpass the Marcus Hall double birds, or where does that fall for double bird action?
It cannot. It does not surpass the Marcus Hall double birds. That was just I don't know why.
Organic, spontaneous.
Yeah, it was organic. It was, how can I put it? I'm not downplaying JJ's. But it was something. It was just something magical about Marcus Hall's version. He walked off, and the way he did it too. I mean, he just put. I mean, he put I don't know. It's just hard to explain. But Jeremiah Smith hates them. and he told y'all he did. And they was talking reckless. First of all, they were talking reckless about how they shut him down. First of all, he had the only touchdown. There were 3 PI penalties that he drew. And we didn't even throw the ball to him that much. And when we did, y'all was holding him. And then he can't control getting the ball. So he was pissed because it's like, y'all some bums. We played stupid. We coached stupid. And he knows that he wasn't the reason they lost that game. And I'm so glad he got that tutty and was able to do what he did, man.
Well, he called his shot, man. He called his shot. I mean, he wasn't shy.
Yeah,
That wasn't one of those like, I'm not sure what he's really saying. Is he really saying that we're going to win? He's like, I
Right.
am not losing to them again.
Yep.
And then he went up and did it. And that's man talk right there. I loved every minute of it coming from JJ. It was it wasn't braggadocio. It was a prediction, and he delivered. So yeah, I agree with you. Marcus Hall's double birds were better, but JJ, I give him an A for effort though. That was really good.
Yeah, it was great effort. Great effort. Just better execution by Marcus Hall. Oh man, that's funny. All right, Ernie Gonzalez, thanks for the $4.99. No comment though, but what's good though? We appreciate you, love you, thank you either way. All right, Skellies, thanks for the $4.99. Another scandal from a classless group of quote unquote men. Spiro, if you hear me, don't release the Sharon files. I want him up north forever. OH Nevada. Yeah, I agree. Don't release him. Let's keep him. But if you do release him, we'll laugh. But yeah, I want him to stay long time.
Well, some people sometimes they say that, but they don't really mean it. I really mean it. I want him to be the coach up there for. How long have I been saying that? B. I've been saying it for a long. I'm like, this guy is not a good coach. I mean, he can't. There's simple things like clock management and he just can't master, and he looks completely confused, like he doesn't even know where he's is half the time on the sideline. So yeah, I really do want him to say. And that's my next question: is where do they go from here? And what do they do? Is it Biff Poggi time? What are they going to do? Tony Fats Alford? That could be
I know who they should call.
The hungry hippo. Yeah,
a true Michigan man.
Yeah,
dial up Brady Hoke. Get him back up in there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, baby, get that going. That's a home run high right there for the scumbags. But yeah, exactly. Where would they go? I'm sure whatever. Listen, I don't care. Just whatever. Keep him, fire him. To me, it's gonna be turmoil regardless, and I'm here for it. So there's that. Speaking of scum, Sean Linsky, thanks for the $4.99. Why wouldn't scum try to cut comms on OSU sideline? The NCAA gave tacit approval of Stallion scandal. Bjork and Carter need to throw their weight around. This is what we said yesterday. Why would we trust anything they do or say, especially when the NCAA is just said, okay, cool, cheat, but pay us. We're not going to punish you for real. Just pay us millions of dollars. We'll line our pockets or whatever. So I get it. And so that's a fair comment, Nevada.
Like I agree with 99% of that. I completely agree with you that the NCAA could not have fumbled the ball worse, or specifically the COI, because there are good people in the NCAA on the enforcement side that were absolutely furious about what went down.
Good point.
But I'm telling you, Michigan got the worst of all worlds, man, because they got the fine and the CFP ban. And
that's right.
They did. So it's like they would have got one or the other. If the NCAA had come in, they would have just handed down the CFP ban. Now they got a $30 million fine, and they got they're in the Reliquist Pop-Tart Cheez-It Bowl or whatever the thing is. So when you really think about it, they got double whammied. I know that was not the NCAA's thing. That's not, but we did it too. We gave it to them. And let me tell you what, I'm going to let you in a little secret. They ain't making the playoff next year either, because look at their schedule. Their schedule is brutal next year.
Oregon, Indiana, at Ohio State. They got Oklahoma.
Yeah, they had the easy schedule this year, man. They had the easiest path ever this year, and they lost 3 games in the regular season. It does not get easier for them next year. So they're in deep trouble. So they got the multi-year bowl ban already and the $60 million fine. So suck on that one, Michigan.
Yep. And keep crying. Chorus, thanks for the $4.99. I spent my work day with Wolverines crying in the background. Glorious. OH Nevada? Yep, they're absolutely crying. I mean, shout out to the brave Wolver Queen souls that are on social media trying to defend your Wolver Queens. I got a few on my page that just, first of all, it helps the algorithm. All your comments, all your crying helps drive the algorithm, but it's pathetic. You're in there trying to defend what? Just hold the L and shut up. All right, so let's move on. Mike Green again. Thanks for the $4.99. Day went for it on 4th and 1 on our 35 and declined a holding just to stop them on 3rd and 5. That's why our communication was shut off. Day was trolling them. Bro, that is hilarious. Real quick, Nevada, to this comment. I was scrolling through my reels and I saw this Team Up North fan. He was upset and he said he said the fact that Ryan Day declined the holding call tells you how garbage we are. And I just laughed out loud because I'm like, that's so true. Because I looked up, I was texting our thread, Nevada, and I looked up like, hold on, they declined that? And I was just like, they are not afraid of you throwing the ball, Fats, Nevada.
Well, truth be told, I thought that was a terrible decision. I thought you accept the penalty, you take them back because it's all about average play. What's our average play? And if their average play isn't 10 yards, you're better taking them back 2nd and 15 than going to 3rd and 5. It's just a math thing for me. But Ryan clearly had no respect for them. And I told you, helping technician came in yesterday and said, Matt Patricia went to Ryan Day at halftime and said they are not going to score another point. So call the game accordingly, but they will not score another point. And then he shut him out the second half. So he called his shot. He delivered his shot. They knew that they had those guys. So in the mind battle between the two super geniuses, Bryce Underwood and Matt Patricia won. But I did think for the record, I thought that was a terrible decision not taking the call. I really do. Truth be told.
But you know what's so funny? The fact that it didn't matter and the outcome was hilarious. This is like it's like cool. Like, so what? Like, it's either way you slice it, it wasn't going to work. And that's just what's hilarious about it. But you know what else is terrible, Nevada? That Matt Patricia hire was a terrial hire. You guys were right. That. You told us you were absolutely correct.
The Star Wars convention dudes they all hated that hire, man. Oh, what a terrible hire. He failed at Detroit as a head coach and people didn't like him. And yeah, the players sure look like they don't like him now. They look like he's got no relationship with the players whatsoever.
Oh man, I swear. It feels great to be a Buckeye scooper. All right. Last comment here. We got P. Barry. Thanks for the 5. I joined the chat late, but our cheating rivals don't understand they were not going to intimidate. OSU beat them storybook and Brutus dotted their I. Yep. Storybook ending or storybook game. Everything was glorious. Our true freshman running back just basically Little Boyd, number 20, and whoever else tried to step in his way. True freshman, knocking heads back, cool, calm, and collect. More class, more demeanor than you bums. I mean, we just outclassed you on all levels. And it was just glorious to see. And so I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm getting ready for this Big Ten title game. I'm still basking in this. I'm laughing at their scandals. I mean, Nevada, what more can you ask for, sir?
Well, I do want to talk just a second about Bo Jackson. I really think that was Bo Jackson's coming out party. Like, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to level up like 2 or 3 levels now. I mean, when you have a game like that and you play that, because we've seen he's been good, but that was different, man. That was different.
Yeah.
And I think now that he's done that, I think Bo could really go. He could go off. I mean, he could have a Trey Sermon type of run here and really do some nasty things to people right there. But to the Brutus thing, I want to know the backstory on that. I wonder, did he plan that? Did he see, when did he decide to do the script Ohio and the whole thing and the marching and the jumping out there and stuff like that? I want to know what the story was on that, because that was beautiful. That was and well executed. Beautiful idea, well executed, classic. Mwah, chef's kiss to Brutus there.
Yeah, he was interviewed here locally in Columbus on 97.1 The Fan. He was in the studio, and obviously Brutus doesn't speak, so he has an interpreter with him.
Okay, I got
His
it.
interpreter confirmed that it was not planned. It was
wow.
indeed spontaneous,
Wow.
and it was just in the moment. And so it just makes it even more brilliant. And like I said, Brutus, that particular Brutus, is the MVP. And so, yeah, I mean, he just made a lot of memories for a lot of people. My son loved it. He's never going to forget that. So thank you, Brutus. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. And
Okay,
yeah,
now best spontaneous gesture though. Brutus is OHIO, Marcus Hall double birds. Which one? Gun to your head.
I'm going to go with Brutus. Okay.
And
And I'll go with this because,
over Marcus Hall's double
yes,
birds.
yep, I am. You know why?
Wow.
Because Brutus, his gesture, his spontaneous act is more family friendly. It can
Yeah,
cross all
yeah.
boundaries. I mean, it does. There's no limitation to it, and it was wholesome. Marcus Hall's was a gritty rivalry. It was just like, yo, that's crazy. But I'm going to give it to Brutus, and maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. If so, so be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But
you
I
might be.
absolutely loved the Brutus. I loved it. It's one of my favorite already.
I'm gonna go with Marcus Hall. Does that make me a bad person? Does that make me a
Yes,
bad person?
makes you a
Yeah,
terrible person,
I think
Nevada.
it does. I think it does, but I'm okay with it. I just want you to know, Marcus, you're still number one with me, Marcus. And I appreciate you telling the Michigan fans they were number one too. Twice you were telling them number one here and number one there.
Marcus is somewhere smiling like, all right, Nevada, somebody rock with me. No, but they're both in in rivalry lore. I mean, like it doesn't matter. They're both in the team picture, right? And it's
I love
in the
it.
same picture.
Fair
So,
enough.
but anyway. All right, listen, another great show. Great show. On your way out, please like the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. We're zooming towards our next goal of 40K. Apple Podcast, subscribe there as well. For you podcasters who don't prefer YouTube and you just on here for the moment, subscribe to Apple Podcasts and any other podcast that you have. All right, Nevada, any last words before we hop off? I'm getting hungry. I need to eat some more leftover turkey.
Now, number one Buckeye show on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for making us number one, and we just really appreciate you. We're going to keep bringing the heat and go Buckeyes and kick the Indiana Hoosiers booty on Saturday night, and we're going to be bringing you some insight as to game preparation for the game on Saturday, and we'll have that for you tomorrow.
Yep, go Bucks. Time to smoke another Signetti. I'm just kidding. I love Signetti. I respect him, but we gonna beat him. Let's go.
Google
Peace.
me.